Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today to this event on Remo. And I'm going to be outlining to you what virtualpowernetworking.com is. I believe most of you are members. And thank you for finding value in what I do. But I'm just going to be outlining to you in more detail what you get for your money. Now, the first thing that you get is access to this lounge in Remo, which never closes. If you go to remo.co, you'll see that it's not cheap. It's $299 a month. I call it Zoom on steroids, and I helped launch it about 5 years ago. The moment I saw it, I thought, wow, this is what I've been looking for. And rather bizarrely, the CEO and founder of Remo is a gentleman from Hong Kong called Ho Yin. And I managed to get hold of his cell phone number, and I called him up, and I noticed it was a UK ringtone. And I thought, that's strange. And he picked up. He was actually in the UK the day I called him, and he's never been to the UK before. And then we met for breakfast at London's Gatwick Airport the next morning for the largest breakfast I've ever had. And we agreed that I would become a founding ambassador, and I promoted it extensively uh, in its seed phase. It was quite buggy at first, but it's quite normal with these sophisticated platforms to have bugs. Anyway, it seems to be relatively bug free now, and it was recently sold to events.com. And so I imagine Ho Yin is now basking in the sun in Bora Bora or somewhere. But no, well done to him. And this was made for networking. It's like a big breakout room. And as you can see, there are, I think, 20 or 25 tables. Each table holds 6 people. So if you can imagine 50 or 100 or even 1,000 people, because it's on multiple floors if needed, that's where Remo comes into itself, because you can network intuitively like you would in real life just by double clicking on the tables and work a room. It also has a whiteboard capability. You can share screens, obviously, present content, and you're at liberty to use this room whenever you like, because we're all zoomed out nowadays. So it's nice to have an alternative platform to come and have meetings. And if you want me to host an event around you and your work, then let me know, and then I will start promoting it. And then cometh the hour, you will be the star of the show. You talk for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, like I'm going to do today, and then Q&A, and then freestyle networking. So a networking event uh, to raise awareness about you and your work. So, uh, so that's the one of the features and benefits that you get by being a member of Virtual Power Networking. If I had to describe it in one sentence, it would be an always open networking network in its purest form. And the brand, virtualpowernetworking.com, sits on a handful of platforms, including Remo. But the main platform it sits on is WhatsApp. I created this virtual networking ecosystem It's now 800 WhatsApp groups, covering a wide range of business themes and subjects. I've got most industries covered, and I've got most countries covered. At the end of the day, business boils down to two things, and that's people and trust. So what I've done is created and curated this networking network where people feel safe to engage, and then the business comes later. So I'm all about relationship building. And that's what life is all about, really, is relationships with our partner, friends, family, and humans in general. What differentiates my network from all the others out there is the fact that it's always open. The world's largest networking network is called BNI. Some of you might be familiar with Business Network International. They tend to meet at silly o'clock in the morning, and they've got quite a rigid structure. My network never closes, and it's always open. And I'm quite informal and not so rigid. Um, so that's the first thing that I wanted to cover. Now, when you signed up to Virtual Power Networking, you did so on a platform called nas.io, nas.io. Now, their CEO is quite well known. Nasir Yassin, his name is. He's an Israeli Palestinian who's famous for these 1 minute video clips. He produced over 1,000 YouTube videos that last for 1 minute. And that's how he rose to prominence. And his target market are creators like me. And it's a symbiotic relationship because he's helped me bring order, structure, and value into what I've created. And so he needs people like me, but we need him in a way because he helps take the hassle out of all the the bookkeeping associated with billing. But more importantly, he's created an awesome platform with lots of value adds on it. For example, I helped promote today's event on nas.io. And as of today, they now support regular weekly events in the calendar. So you'll be seeing that. And I'm also doing weekly meetups now for the network every Wednesday at noon UK time. So right in the middle of the week, easy to remember. And that's on a platform called Twine. And Twine matches people in room one-to-one. These are one-to-one conversations that last 7 minutes. I decided on 7 minutes because I think 5 minutes is too short, and 10 minutes it could be argued is too long. And I think some of you were at today's event on Twine, and that's going to be an ongoing thing. My end goal is to get to a situation where this place where we're at now, the VPN networking lounge in Remo, will always have people in it so that it becomes an always open environment where people can just come to network if they're in the mood. We all live such structured lives nowadays. Everything is timetabled. And I totally get that. But sometimes in life, for me at least personally, I like to do things spontaneously, and including networking. And that's why um, God willing, in a year from now, this place will be a hive of activity, a kind of networking utopia, where when you're in the mood, you just come here, network to meet amazing people. So your VPN membership includes access to up to 30 WhatsApp groups that meet your business and social needs. The reason I say social is because ultimately we're all here to do business. We're business people and we want to do business. But I'm a relationship facilitator almost. Countless people met in my WhatsApp groups during the pandemic. And then they started sharing selfies of themselves meeting in real life. And that was very rewarding for me because I know that I manifested those relationships. So I'm creating countless friendships, which is very rewarding. But ultimately, as I said, we're here to do business and develop and make money. And you do that by developing trust, really. And that takes time and relationships. And I'm going to be helping you all do that through, through events and networking events. Now, one of the other major platforms is called School, SKOOL, and Virtual Power Networking has got a school community. If you're not a member of School, my community on School, please let me know, and I will send you an invite link for that. In fact, I can share that in the chat now. Please join it, not least because it will make it easier for me to showcase you and your work. WhatsApp groups are quite chaotic and unstructured. School is much more structured. So, for example, when I introduce you in School, that thread belongs to you in perpetuity. It's all about you, that thread. And it's also got a gamification element to it. In other words, there's a leaderboard, and whoever's more active in the community gets higher ranked in it. Also, the calendar function there is very useful. You can see all the events that are happening in one place. So I'm just going to grab the link to that now and share it in the chat in case any of you aren't members of the School community yet. And there are many communities on School which you might also enjoy. Right. So another thing I would like to draw your attention to is a platform called My Most Trusted, which is run by a friend of mine called Scott Kundell. He was stranded in Bali, of all places, during the pandemic, and that's how we got to know each other. And if you can see on the right-hand side of the screen here on, so first of all, you need to download a Chrome extension, which sits then in your Chrome, and then the thing is, I've got like 17,000 connections on LinkedIn, but I don't know most of those individuals. So using My Most Trusted, I've actually ring fenced those people that I genuinely know and trust. And then you can see who those individuals are. And if you like the look of any of them, you just click on a button and then the system will ask me to introduce you to that individual. And then that way it becomes a warm introduction, which is 1,000 times more effective than just a cold outreach to people. Again, it all boils down to the word trust. And um, I would encourage you to start using that Chrome extension. And Scott was kind enough to build that technology into this platform here on Remo. So moving forward, when you come to this space in Remo, by clicking on the My Most Trusted extension, you will see at a glance what these wonderful people in the room do, and and connect with them. Very, very powerful. Um, Another thing that's included in your membership is a free website audit and traffic report from an expert on the subject, a guy called John Russell. He has enjoyed a 3,000% return on his investment since joining VPN. And normally he charges for said assessments, but he's kindly offered to offer it at no charge to members of VPN. So I will connect you to him if you are interested in having a free website audit and traffic report for your website. Another thing that's included is, I'm just going to share my screen so you can see what I'm about to show you. And this is a LinkedIn engagement tool by Engage AI, run by a gentleman called Jason. Here is a brief video outline of what it is. Okay, so what that is essentially a LinkedIn engagement pod where a group of people, I think it's about 15 or 20 people, we like, comment, and share on each other's LinkedIn material. And that will really boost your visibility because those likes, comment, and shares are done within a relatively short time frame of 1 hour, and that will really boost your visibility on LinkedIn. LinkedIn plays a key role in what I do because it's such a powerful information tool, but it's not such a good communications tool. Whereas WhatsApp is the opposite. So what WhatsApp and LinkedIn really complement each other, and I think most of you should have noticed an uptake in your LinkedIn activity since you joined my network. As my two largest groups are the Virtual International Pub and the Powerful Women group. There are hundreds of individuals in those WhatsApp groups who saw your LinkedIn when you joined, because I insist on people including uh, their LinkedIn profile when they join my WhatsApp groups. Now, the BDI amongst you will have noticed that my core program, the Eco program, which most of you signed up for, most of you here are what's known as founding ambassadors. In other words, you signed up to my network or to the Eco program before February of last month. And in February, I raised the price to a more sensible price 5 times. So it's now £47 a month, or about $60 a month to be part of the network, or £497 for an entire year. That means you can start earning decent money by just making introductions and introducing me to people. I've now got an affiliate program that pays 20% for life in perpetuity for any introductions you make. Now, because the churn rate is quite low, it means that you could be making money for years to come on any introductions you make. The target market is quite broad. It's anyone who's self-employed, unless they are a plumber or a tree surgeon, something like that. I can't help. It's too hyper local. But if they're in the brain game, if they're a consultant or a coach or selling something that's intangible, then I can definitely help them. If they're selling tangible goods, I can also help them, because one of my partners is Leslie Batchelor, who used to head the Institute of Export, and she's an exporting expert. And she understands all about exporting tariffs and import duty and all the stuff that I don't really understand. So even if the company that you introduce are an e-commerce company, we can certainly help them expand internationally. Why or how? Simple. I've got most of the world covered in terms of WhatsApp groups. I've got WhatsApp groups for most countries, and I have co-created those groups with trustworthy individuals who are well connected in their country. So no matter what the client needs, a lawyer, an accountant, a distribution partner, a web design company, whatever they need, we can help them through the network. So what I've just described is the low ticket offering. The high ticket offering, in fact, I'll run you through the website now in all its glory, so that you have a better understanding of all the services in one swoop. So I'm going to share my screen again, and here we go. So instantly grow your network. That's what differentiates VPN from all the other networking networks out there. The fact that it never closes, it's always open. These are the companies I work with. These are the products that I'm about to show you. That's me, my long-suffering wife, and my son, who coded this awesome website. So we are a family office. And here's Leslie Batchelor, who I mentioned to you earlier. Very proud of my testimonials, especially this one from Ernest, which you can read at your leisure. But the only reason he gave me such an outstanding endorsement is because he didn't see WhatsApp as a business tool. I taught him how to use WhatsApp as a business tool, and more importantly, I started introducing him to people to help meet his business goals, and he was kind of blown away. And Meta, who of course own WhatsApp, they've been kind enough to endorse me. So the Eco program is the one that you've all signed up for. That's essentially that's access to the network and to the groups. And we just go back. Don't know where it's hung. Try again. Ah, that's very rare. Do excuse me. Let's try again. There we go. So yeah, the Eco program is if you like, the base product which you've all signed up to, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for so doing. However, a lot of people don't know what virtual networking is or how to start. So with my 1 hour power hour, I can teach them the tools and the techniques needed in order to network virtually. And if they want to have a deep dive, I offer a mentorship program that lasts a month. And then we meet twice a week for an hour each time, and they become experts in how to network virtually. That's one-on-one training. Mastermind, because I've got so many business rock stars in my network, I do masterminds where I put amazing minds into one room and watch the magic unfold. And now that WhatsApp works on board aircraft, thanks to onboard Wi-Fi, I have a service called In-Flight Connect, where I can connect you to people at your destination and globally whilst you're flying. I've got my proof of concept. And when you think about it, when you fly long haul, after you've watched a movie and had a meal, what are you going to do for 8 hours? Why not use that time productively and grow your network? And people that fly a lot tend to be very busy people that don't have time to network. Talking of which, my concierge service is aimed at people that hate networking, which is about 1 in 5 people simply do not have the time to network, or just don't enjoy it. They're more than happy to have a one-to-one. It's just they don't enjoy the process of getting to that one-to-one through networking, or they don't have the time. So this is a networking as a service where I tenaciously seek out the kind of people that you need to meet and bring them to you. This is a price on application situation. It depends on the client and what their requirements are. Obviously, if they're a corporate, I'm going to charge much more than if they're a solopreneur. And the same applies to my high-end enterprise program called Grow Global. This is aimed at companies and individuals that want to expand internationally. If you bring me anyone that signs up to this, I'll pay you at least £1,000 because it's a £10,000 annual program. They probably won't pay me that money in one go. It will be a retained situation. But the moment the money hits my bank account, I'll pay you. And if they are a large company or an ultra high net worth individual, then I'll pay you £10,000 because I'll be charging 10x that. So there's something there for everyone. And there are new features and services going to be added on moving forward, because my job is to make sure that you never want to leave virtualpowernetworking.com. You're at liberty to leave at any time. I don't rope anyone into binding contracts. But the act of people leaving is known as churn. And it's perfectly normal when you run a subscription service to have people leave. But I need to keep the churn rate low. I need to keep you all happy and over deliver so that you stay and grow your network. I meet some amazing people in the process. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of the services that are on offer with virtual power networking. I see there's a great crowd of you that have turned up today, and some of you have got your hands up. So I'm going to invite onto the stage. Oh, suddenly the hands have gone. Uh, the hands are back up now. So, Alan, I see that you would like to come on stage. So, what I'll do is invite you onto the stage, and then you can ask your question. So, you should see a prompt to come onto the stage, and uh, anyone else that wants to come on stage, please raise your hand, and I'll do that. Alan, so we haven't known each other that long, but you are an interesting case. You're really well connected. You enjoy networking, and I think you're going to make good money by referring virtual power networking to others. Has today's little presentation been a help? Do you now better understand what it is?
Absolutely, yes. And it wasn't a question, it was a comment. And ladies and gentlemen, first of all, happy International Women's Day. This is Mr. Mark did not pay me to say this. I've known him for almost 4 years, and I've watched him grow, and I'm so proud of him. And I can honestly say, as a Master Connector, I'm here to support him and all of you 110%. Mark is real. He's passionate, and I am honored to be a part of this incredible virtual networking platform. And then I do know the Scott Kundo as well. Thank you so much for what you're doing for all of us, Mark. It is an honor to be here. Thank you, sir.
It's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. I believe it's quite early in the morning where you are.
It's only 9:35 in U.S. California,
Oh,
and I've
that
been up since 3 a.m., so it's okay. I do that on a regular basis.
well, thanks so much for coming, Alan. And Simon, welcome to the stage. Um,
Nice to be
and
here.
you're one of those individuals that was made aware of virtual power networking um, by, I'm just trying to remember, was it Lisa?
It was, yeah.
Okay, so you've made Lisa a little bit richer um, because she got 20% when you paid, and you will also get a link like that if you haven't already. Have you?
I think you sent it to me by email already, so I do plan on sharing it with others I know.
Yes. So the lowest hanging fruit would be a solvent, gregarious, sassy, driven woman. Most of the who enjoys networking, the social butterfly type. We all know women like that, and they would be, I think, the easiest to reach out to. Not least because most of the individuals in my network are women. I salute women who are making waves in industries like tech, mergers and acquisitions, venture capital, etc. Industries that are dominated by men. And my favorite WhatsApp group is the Powerful Women group, and several of my groups are aimed at helping women in those industries, like, for example, venture capital. Only 6% of venture capitalists are women. So one of my groups is called Women in VC to get more women involved in venture capital and to help them.
Amazing, amazing.
Did it take? Has today been useful? Have you got now a better understanding of what you signed up for?
100%. I know that there are so many features in this platform that I just don't know how to use or wasn't made aware of. I mean, the main reason why I joined VPN was to be able to, meet other entrepreneur-minded people and to connect with them so we can do business. But it seems like just the services that you provide are really, really top notch. And so I'm looking forward to being able to use them and, seeing what kinds of, great connections we can make.
Well, thank you so much for coming today, Simon. And yeah, the meetups on Twine now happen every week, and there will be more and more of them moving forward. And for
Mhm.
each WhatsApp group, ideally, I would like to have a meetup for each WhatsApp group here on Remo. But
Mhm.
there's only so many hours in the day. The next one is going to be for my values-driven leader group. I think that's tomorrow. But moving forward, all of my groups will have, or most of my groups will have meetups here. Why? Because in a WhatsApp group, you can't really see and hear the people.
Mhm.
It's 100 times more effective when we can actually see and hear one another. And Remo is perfect for that.
Yeah, I've been loving it so far. So really, really good job helping to develop the software and really like, facilitating the space for all of us because, even without having seen all the services, I'm already seeing all the benefits. Um, and yeah, just before I go, just want to let everybody know if you are looking to upgrade your water, I am an independent distributor for Enagic. I work with Kangen water machines. If you are wanting to learn more about what's in your tap water, change out your water, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to do a free consultation with you.
You rock, Simon. Thank you so much. And Martin, welcome onto the stage.
Thanks, Mark.
And thank you for your wonderful video testimonial last week. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Yeah, yeah. Well, as I said in the video, I don't love networking. That's my sister's thing. She's much more of that. And you get a lot of messages in the WhatsApp group, and sometimes I find that frustrating. But I just turn off the. And I said this in my testimonial, right? That's part I don't like about it. But I've gained partners out of this group. I've made some business out of it, saved money. I got money for clients. So, it continues to be more value. And I really do like Reno. I use it in another group that I'm in as well. And the virtual group, as you say, I think it's a really powerful tool for networking.
Awesome. Awesome. So, would you describe yourself, Martin, as an introvert?
Well, it's really interesting because my friend calls it, I didn't really think of myself that way. I like speaking in front of crowds. I teach martial arts. I teach computers. I teach lots of stuff. I think, she calls it a loud introvert, I think is what she says. I'm fine by myself, but I don't mind being in crowds. I like talking to a lot of people, but it's certainly not my first love. I'm definitely not an extrovert in that way.
So, if you had to compare virtual networking to in-person networking,
Yeah.
do you prefer virtual?
Yeah, I think I do for lots of reasons. I think the ROI is just better, right? When we used to have to go out to meetings, I would go out to these places, you're spending money on gas, on trips, getting dressed all this time. And, I practiced talking to people, so I'm better at that, but it's just easier to talk to, and
Much
yeah, it's
easier.
easier.
And you're doing the planet a favor because you're not pumping a load of pollutants in the
Yeah,
atmosphere
yeah.
by
And what I think,
flying or driving there.
yeah, what I think I like about the Remo and this platform you're talking about is the best of both worlds, right? That the virtual and the virtual reality stuff where you're getting the avatars and stuff. I've tried that, don't like it. What I like about this is the method for what you said. The method for picking people you want to talk to is great because you see the little tables, you hover over top and it shows their name. So right, I want to go to that table. But when you go to the table, it's like Zoom, like this. So none of that silly avatars and half body stuff, right?
Right, right.
So I think that's where some of them fell down. the meeting part, that's the best way to do it. But then when you're talking to someone, you don't want that. You want to be on camera like this. And so I think that's the best of both worlds, this platform, for that reason.
You rock, Martin. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much for coming.
Yeah, thanks.
And the rest of the time now, we've got another 17 minutes allocated for this hour. We're going to do freestyle networking here in Remo, which is my favorite kind of networking. No agenda, no time constraints, just network how you wish and get to know people. And as you know, the secret to networking successfully is to bear in mind that it's not about you, it's about them. If you take an interest in other people, they will reciprocate. So I'm now going to go back to the floor and look forward to seeing you guys on the tables. And thanks. The 40 minutes are now elapsed, so 20 minutes left for a bit of networking. Thank you so much for coming, everyone, and see you on the networking tables. Thank you.